Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we'll be starting tutorial number 3 of my L&J Wedding Mini Album. I wanted to show you that I've got the latch on here. It is dried. I used glossy accents to help attach it. And I did the right side first and let that dry up for a good day before I did the other side. As you can see, it's attached firmly. I also, when I put it on, I put glossy accent on the bottom of the piece, cleaned it off with rubbing alcohol first, put glossy accents on the bottom, and then put dabs of glossy accent in the holes before I put the brads through. And then that helps hold it. And then did the same for this side. And I didn't mess with opening the brads. I wanted it good and dry for a day. So we will do that now. And then they will be in there. And not moved them. Problem is, maybe some glossy accents got it. I sure did. Glossy accents got in there and sealed them. There we go. So there. Those are done. And then those will be covered up with paper. The other thing that I did, oops, reopen it, was I tried to test fit on my corner pieces. Now these corner pieces are generous in their depth inside, but they weren't quite enough. So what I had to do was open them all the way and then reseal them. So we'll do that together in a video, but I did, if you've seen that on there, then I wanted to let you know that I did test fit one of those. So we'll go ahead and get this out of our way. We will start with page 2-1. And what I've done is created these flips, but it's kind of like a book. And I put one together so you can see it. But what I need to do is put these inside because I don't want that visible on this. So we're going to put the inside. So let's go ahead and build our second set there. And then we will work on the page. So I've had 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11. I cut those into 8, 6.5 wide, 5 inches high. On your 5-inch side, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So you'll have 2 sets of 4 is what you'll end up with. We are going to attach these on top of each other, just like a book. So on our 1/2 inch hinge, we're going to glue that to the other one. And I pre-built one because I wanted to see once I added my paper if it still felt, you know, like it would work good, and it did. So I have fear that it might be too thick, but it actually works pretty good. Double check inside, make sure it's not. And if you get a little piece that's going to hang over there or something, but that one actually doesn't. Looks like it did, but it did not. Okay. All right. So yeah, we just glue all 4 on top of each other. Or all 3 on top. 3 on top of 1, I guess. Because the 4th one gets glued inside one of those slits that we're going to create. And you don't have to do the slits if you don't want to. I just want it to look nice and neat inside there and not have to come up with something to cover the hinge part that's on there. But by all means, if you don't want to cut slits, you don't have to. You can attach these right to the top of your page. All right. So that's all there is to that. Now for the top, I've cut silver, and I think this is die cuts with a view. In fact, I know it is. It's about the only glitter paper I buy anymore because it doesn't let off any glitter. So die cuts with a view. It's a little shiny around the back, but it adheres nice. So this is just for our top piece here. I thought that would be pretty. Pulling in some silvers, maybe some golds later, but definitely some silvers. I have some, and of course some bronzes. Get some of the metals in there just for, it always looks pretty for weddings and stuff. There we go. So that's our top. Then I just alternated with browns on the bottom and then the golds on the top part. These were actually, them. They were Bobunny. My extra sheets of Bobunny. Oh, right here. Here's one. This one is from Bobunny Carnival. And as you can see, I have a full pack of this. And I might have a couple of them, but when I had my business, I would buy the larger packs of things. So here's the other one. And then this was a Bobunny Provence. So, but I like the dots with the golds and blues in it. So look around. Might be able to use something other than what you think. So, and I got a lot of paper. I dug through a lot just looking at the back sides. You know, too, not just the fronts, because it's like, well, the front would be good, but then I found what I wanted in the back. So we're just going to alternate these gold and browns here. And not a lot is going to show, but enough. So, and you get that white edge. And everything has been smudged up with my walnut stain ink, Ranger ink, distress ink. Okay. I had my coffee this morning. I got a little dryness in my throat. Haven't been up too long, but want to get a couple of these done today. So in order to do that, we got to get going on them early. So see how far we get with this one. Like Bobunny papers, they always have some cute papers, and it's also a decent weight. You know, it's not so thin or not too heavy, but a nice decent weight. I'm hoping she likes this. The theme I kind of just picked from her invitation, from their wedding invitation. So I'm hoping that theme is what she's using for other things too. It was the sunflowers, of course. But if not, then I might have to do a different one. I don't know. But, you know, I think she'll like it. When I think of wedding, I think of a lot of whites and creams, and I don't know, glitzy glamours, but not everybody's like that. In fact, my daughter's wedding, we did hers rustic. It was all like burlaps and things like that. We used teals and blacks and burlap. We did the rustic wedding. And it was actually very nice. So there we go. So that booklet is complete. So we got our 2 booklets. Let's set those aside there. Whoops, pulled my cap right off. Okay. So I have cut an additional piece, 9 7/8 high by 8 1/4 wide, and that's going to act as a reinforcement after we get our pieces attached. Then that will go on the back. But in addition to that, I've added strips, and you can just use your scrap strips in the areas where I wanted to do my cutting. Let me zoom in here just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I want to go too far. There we go. Is that better? If I go in too far, then I'll be out of frame in some things. So I have it upside down. There we go. Added extra strips. It was an afterthought because I thought, man, I just don't think that's going to hold up. So this one you can see is 2, has the ends separate because it was kind of afterthought. And then this one, I would just place whole pieces and then do your slice. And then for where I'm going to put the ribbon through, because I'm going to run the ribbon back behind, I doubled that because that's going to get more movement, I think, than that is. So I did double that on there. Okay. My writing's upside down. Part of it's this way, part of it's that way. Okay. So what I did was I came down 3/8 of an inch from the top and came up 3/8 of an inch from the top, 3/8 of an inch from the bottom, came up, and then I'm 7/8 of an inch in each way. Okay, these are nice and wide. What is my width on these? These are 6.5. So they would sit right just like that. So one of these has tape on it already, so I'm going to peel that tape. We're going to slide it into the slot, and then I'll adjust it. But I want some glue on here. Now this one actually, you can see a line here, a pencil line. Okay, that's at 3/8 of an inch. I started with 1/2 inch and then found that it wasn't far enough down that they wouldn't be able to be on the same page. So I'm going to adjust that by when I put it in, but the other one is 3/8 of an inch. But I had to make an adjustment or start all over. So we're going to slide this in here the best we can. And I just used an X-Acto blade to cut that. Oops, maybe I gotta lay it down. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to kind of line that up just underneath that pencil mark. And I want to make sure before I press that down that I am about 7/8 on the bottom, 7/8 on the top, on both sides, just so I know I'm even before I press down. And I probably should have done the bottom one first to make sure I have enough room. But there we go. And I'm going to come back here and press down that really good to make sure that's down. Perfect. Now that's installed there, and see we can flip through this nicely, and then it's not visible there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on this one, and I'm using both tape and glue. Tape and glue, just for double reinforcement there. I didn't press it down yet, so let's go back in. There we go. Okay. Get some glue on this one too. Perfect. All right. I'm going to turn this upside down so I can work with this like this. I did test fit them to make sure that I had enough room in there to slide these in. Whoopsie. Before I press it down again, 7/8, 7/8. 7/8. Okay, looks pretty good. Lined up here. Give it a press. There we go. And see, by doing 3/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom coming in, we've got just a nice little space there to be able to open these and close them. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to put my back piece on. Oh no, I got to attach my ribbon first. So I've chosen two pieces, 36 inches, no, 34 inches. 34 inches. I found my center and I made a mark with my ink pen on both sides for both of my ribbons. And now we're going to get our X-Acto blade here. Now what I did was I took my ruler and I came in, these are 4.5. So what I did was I came with my ruler, my pencil, and I went to the 2 1/4 mark. Let me zoom in here again, closer so you can see a little better just for this demonstration. My 2 1/4 mark. From that 2 1/4, I came out 1/8 of an inch this way and 1/8 of an inch that way. Okay, and I did that to all of them. Center, 2 1/4, 1/8 of an inch this way, and 1/8 of an inch that way. And that should be enough for my ribbon. Okay, so I've got them all marked. So let's go ahead and slice those. I would like a ruler here, and I like one with kind of a metal edge. I do less damage that way. And on the ruler you can find your 1/4 inch too, so you want just a little bit more than that, maybe just allow that ribbon to flow through nicely, but not, you don't want it sloppy. Feels like my blade's loosening up. Oops. Don't want it sloppy in there because then it'll tear, but you don't want it too tight because then it'll pull and not work good. So see what we get when we do this, and then we can always make it a little bigger if we need to. Can't make it smaller, but we can make it bigger, right? Okay. Okay, let's see where we're at with that. Okay. So now our ribbon's going to run through on the back side. So let's see. And I did burn these. Whoops. I got to bring it back up. make you smaller again. There we go. There we go. So I did burn these. It did allow me to. I had to be real careful because I didn't want to. It is kind of a more of an acrylic-y feeling type one. But, so I'm going to get this and put something gentle to poke this through. Maybe a pair of tweezers. Just so I can grab it from the other side. There we go. All right. We're going from this side, making sure I'm not twisted. We might have to turn this around a few times just to make it easier. All right. Just go through there. All right. So there's my center. And then I did make a center mark on my papers here and there. So let me just kind of line up like that. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. So I got to add tape to the center of this. I've already got my tape there. Just going to add some tape to help hold that in position until we get the other piece on there. Go. Make sure it's down good. All right. Slide that to my right here so it's lined up. Looks pretty good. Let's just go ahead and double press on there just to hold it temporarily. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to remove this tape because I put my tape down first before I put these down because I just wasn't comfortable with how it was not going to be stable. So maybe I should have left that on there. Maybe I should have left a piece on there, huh? Let's put a piece on there just until I get this on here. All right. Okay. Down there like that. Give it another turn. Don't want any twisting. Now, pull that through to the center. There's my little mark there. It doesn't have to be exact. Close. All right. Let's figure out the top and the bottom. Okay. I think this is the top. This is the top. Yeah. Okay. So now we have these here that can tie. So let's go ahead and put our back on now. Everything looks like it's good. It's got some weight to them. That's why I wanted to reinforce that because they do have some weight to them. All right, and this is just going to be fastened right to the whole back of that, just for a little bit more stability before it's fastened to the page. Get a good amount of glue on here. And you could use tape too. Okay, I think with the glue, and then I'm going to add an extra bit of glue here, and an extra bit of glue here. Whoops. Here. And around here. Okay. All right. This should stabilize it a little bit more. All we can do to make this as stable as possible. Line up my edge there. There. And if we do end up with anything that's hanging over, we can always trim it off. And I'm going to give this a good press. So I'm going to make this here from this side. Around all these points where we put the extra glue. Make sure we're sealed good. There we go. All right. So let's give these a tie here. Okay. Just making sure I have my up, so my bows aren't upside down. Like that. There we go. We have plenty of length. I'm going to leave those for right now. It keeps slipping out of my finger. Here we go. We'll trim those later on. Okay. For right now, I think that's good. All right, I'm going to smudge the edge because I can see I did not do that. So let's go ahead and, oh, you can see where I've got a little extra there. So we'll trim that off a second. Just get that little trim there. Let me see. I can get that. It's not the whole length, it's just part of it. So trim that off a little, just a tiny bit. Fraction there. Maybe a little bit here. Go down, just a sliver, as you can see. It's just the finest amount, but you want to make it look good. A little bit on the top here. And I hold my ruler on an angle because of that. Right there. Okay. Oopsie. Then just the last little bit here. Well, it's not even hardly, can't hardly even get it. Okay. And then it looks like maybe just a tiny, tiny bit here. Part of this. See if I can get, yeah, see that's so small I can hardly get that either. Yeah, just too small. Can't even get my blade on it. All right. So see, just a tiny little bit. Now let's go ahead and smudge this up. And it's heavy, so I'm just going to kind of let it, the table hold the weight of it because it is, I don't want to put any more stress on there than I have to. There we go. And I got my pencil mark here that I can see part of it, so I'm just going to go in and erase that so I don't forget it later on. There we go. Perfect. That looks nice. Looks kind of pretty, doesn't it? Okay. Let's go ahead and attach that to 2, 1, and then this is of course going to have an edge around it. So let's go ahead and because this is so heavy, I am going to add some tape to that too. So let's just add some big tape there. maybe right here, right where the things are to help kind of hold it a little better. Just until it dries good. And a bunch of glue. There we go. Let's pour the glue to it. All right. And here we go. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just do behind the books here. I don't want to bend that around the book. So get just that like that. Put it back over and then we'll do these edges. I could untie them and open them up and do it, but I think we'll be good just like that. There. Perfect. So that is 2-1. 2-2 is very simple, and I might add additional things to this one later, but I have an idea, but I have to get ready for it. So this actually just has 2 pieces that are 8.5 wide by 8 long. On your 8.5 inch side, you're going to score it a 1/2 inch. Okay? You're going to do 2 of those, so you're going to just have a flip up and a flip down. So I've got an idea of what I might do with this, but I might change my mind and add just a couple more items to it later on. But for right now, it's just going to have a flip up, flip down. That will be 8 by 8, basically, once they're on there. I'm going to center this, just eyeball it like that. And I don't, because the other side is so bulky, I don't want a lot on this side too. It just makes it way too heavy. So we're just going to keep it nice and simple on this side to compensate for all we have on this side. We just don't want the pages too thick, too heavy. So, and if you didn't want to do 4 of those, you could do 3 or 2, you know, just because of the weight. Once they, I mean, when you get them out there, that's quite a bit of thickness and weight for the album. So I'm making sure that my pieces are lining up to each other, and I'm lining up my bottom here, just like that. There we go. And just make sure I've got a good piece in there. All right. So flip up, flip down. That's page 2, 2. Let me do it on 10. Okay, we're good. All right, so for 3, 1, let me get my other pieces set aside here. For 3, 1, I've got a container here with the pages that are finished in it. We have a few pieces to do here. These are the pieces that go last, so we're going to set those aside. Our first piece is 3.5 wide by 10 inches high, and on your 3.5 inch side, you're going to score it a 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. And I've also created a template. And what I did is I just took a scrap of paper, folded it in half, took my pencil, and I went down 1 inch from this edge here, my open edge. Went down 1 inch, made a mark, actually drew a line, and then started out by just kind of going along like this a little bit, and then started coming in, making a couple little curves here until I met that line. So I ended up with that, and this is how I make my templates if I don't want to mess with die. Sometimes this is quicker than messing with the die and setting it all up, especially if I'm only going to do a couple of things, then I don't really need to. I mean, my die machine sets out on my table, but sometimes this is just easier than using a die machine, and not everybody has a die machine, so this gives them an option. And if you do have a die machine and you want to use that, go right ahead. All right, so now we know when we open this, it's a mirrored image, so it's exact on both sides. So we're gonna use this to create our design on this here. So I'm going to move this so I can see better. There we go. So I'm going to design to line up at the top there, and then at the bottom. Looks good. Everything looks like it's lined up good. So I'm just going to make a pencil mark, just like that. Follow along. There we go. So now you can see the pencil mark. So now we'll go ahead and, to the best of our ability, we're going to cut that out. Should have made it a little darker. It was pretty light. That's all right. I think I can see if I hold it just right. And then when we cut our paper, we can, or our design paper, we can match that. Use our same template. And because this album is a little more rustic-y looking, then I don't want to use a fancy lace dye. I have lots of fancy dyes, but you know, that doesn't really kind of fit with this. But so there, we have our piece there. I'm going to save our template and bring back in our tunnel. And just on our 1/2 inch hinge there, we're going to glue this down on our left hand side. Get a buildup of glue on the. All right, and this is 10 inches, so it should fit fairly nicely. Right on that edge. Okay, just like that. There we go. Then we're going to bring our gusset back in. I'm going to just kind of gently push to bring that gusset back in. Okay. And for our next piece, number 2, it's 8.5 wide by 11 inch piece. Cut at 8.5, so it's full 8.5. Cut down to 10 inches. On your 8.5 inch edge, you're going to score again at a 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. Again, bring in our 1/2 inch there of our hinge. And we're just going to glue that down, this time on the right side. I'm going to turn this around so I can see it better here. Bring that right up like that. Should line up pretty good. There we go. Give it a good press. Okay. Again, I'm just going to lightly press on this paper back the other way to bring that gusset back in. And then this is going to go on top of there. We're going to place some magnets on there in a minute. I want to get my underneath things in before I put my magnets on, because that thickness can adjust where your magnet is hitting. So we're going to put our other features on first. So we have a pocket here, and the pocket is from 8.5 by 11, of course. And we are going to cut it 4.5 by 9 3/4. So 4.5 by 9 3/4. On your 4.5-inch edge, you're going to score at, here, hold it this way. You're going to score, oh, it was this way, 3 3/4 by 3 7/8. Okay, 3 3/4 and 3 7/8. On your 9 3/4 inch edge, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, 9 1/8, and 9 1/4. Okay, again, 4.5 inch edge, score at 3 3/4 and 3 7/8. 9 3/4 edge, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 5/8, 9 1/8, and 9 1/4. Okay, and we're going to give them all a little fold here, fold and burnish. Okay, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. And this is just going to give us a little bit deeper pocket for items, extra items you might want to put in. Sometimes you have a few items you want to put in, and this is going to allow her to maybe do that. Okay. All right, so we've got a 1/4 inch gusset all the way around. So now we're going to come in and we're going to cut out. Let me make a pencil mark so you can see. Okay, so we're going to take, I'll just mark it with a pencil so you can see really good exactly what I'm doing. All right. So on this, the very inside corner, we're going to snip that out. Okay. Just like that. Now if you want, you can angle it slightly. It's not going to make a difference there. So now when we close that, actually, yes, we might want to. Yes, let's take out that whole corner. So go back. Sorry about that. We're going to take out that additional. We're going to take out that additional because I don't want to take out additional both or additional one. Let's just do one first. Nope, we want to take out both. Okay. So we're going to take out both of those. Let me leave that little square on there a second. Let's see what that gives us. See, I didn't do this ahead of time. Okay. All right. So, yep, we're going to remove the square too. Okay. All right. So we're going to take out that whole corner and just leave our gussets. There we go. And it'll end up like an envelope. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to show you on here what I'm going to trim out. Okay. So you're going to trim out that whole corner, including the little tiny square that comes in there. Just like that. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and I think I'm just going to glue the two corners together first, just to get them. I'm going to put a ruler underneath. Hold that up a little bit. The press. I'm going to do the same on this side. Give me a little glue here. The ruler's just kind of holding it until it can tack. This glue dries pretty fast. Okay. Ruler's kind of thick. I almost need one that's a little bit thin. Oh. Let's see here. Let me see. Is that too thick? This is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to use 2 pieces of chipboard when I lay that down, so then I can press on the chipboard on the corners, okay? This pocket is going to go right down in the bottom here. And I want to make sure that I got enough room there. Okay, it is a little... I think it'll be good. I think it's going to be good. Okay, I think we'll be good. All right, get my things back in here. Glue. All right. All right. Okay. Get in there. Get in there. I'm going to turn this again. Where's my other piece? There it is. All right. Line this up. It's hard to see. Hard to see exactly. No, I think that's good. Bring my 2 pieces of chipboard. Bring this down here like that. Kind of press on them. Bring them in over here. And press on them. And I'm just going to kind of run them along the bottom there. And press as I go. If I can find it. Where are you? There we go. And make sure it's not that lip. And I'm just running just a little bit at a time. Pressing. Just like the width. Okay. All right. This is a crooked there. How did that make that crooked? Not sure why that's wanting to run crooked now. Let me reinforce that gusset there. All right. So now kind of breaking that in a little bit. There we go. All right. We have a scrap from this pocket here, and 8.5 wide by 4 inches high. On the 4-inch side, you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. We're going to attach this to the top part of the pocket so it can just flip up like so, and then that'll give her a little bit of extra room for journaling or whatever she wants, maybe some smaller pictures. So let's go ahead and attach that to our pocket. It's always nice to have some little areas to journal. And or she might have some little cutout pictures that she wants to put on there. Okay. All right. That's going to flip up like that. In addition to that, we have just a little tab. We're just going to put that on there just to kind of hold that down. Just to hold that down a little bit. Decorative piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our center. No, it's 8.5, so we need 4 1/4. That's kind of our center. And I've already got this one marked on the center. So, and I did do additional lines under here because this is where it's going to attach. Not sure why I had this band so long, but I guess it doesn't matter. More strength. And this band was a scrap. It was 3 3/8. No, it's 6 inches long by 1 3/8 wide. And you're going to score at 3 3/8 and 3.5. Perfect. And like I said, I just kind of pre-marked it on the paper, on the pocket here, so I knew exactly where to lay it. Okay. Just like that. We might, I don't know. I don't think we're going to need really that thick of a gusset on there, but kind of leave it just, I don't think we're going to need it. So maybe just score it 3.5. Or wherever you want. You don't have to have it that long either. It was just a scrap, and rather than messing with cutting it down, I just used it. Okay, so let's see how this closes. That's pretty good. All right. Okay, so we're going to put 2 big magnets down here. All right, let's see here. I think this size here will be good. I don't think we need huge ones. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to put this underneath here and add a couple more pieces of paper. Okay, I think we're good. All right, just to make sure I have enough magnet strength for extra papers with these smaller ones. So let's go ahead and get some tape here. And we're going to add it to this part first. Down a good amount there. Get them too close to the edges. I mean, sometimes you can't help but get it close to an edge, but if you can stay away from the edge, it makes it easier when you put your decorative papers on. All right, I've got my tape, and I'm going to put it upside down so the sticky part's facing up. Okay. Now, I want to get this ruler under there to compensate for the height of that pocket. Okay, just like that. Make sure everything's lined up, and I'm just going to find my magnets right there. I'm gently going to hold the magnet in place, kind of press my tape down. And then I always kind of slide it. I don't like to pull directly up because sometimes it'll just pull your magnet up. There we go. So now she has things in this pocket, then this is going to land in the right spot every time. Okay, so that's that. All right. Page 3-2, and then we'll end this for today. Our first one is, actually they're all the same. You need 3 pieces, 8.5 wide by 9.5 high. Okay. On your number 1 piece, you're just going to score on your 8.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. This is going to get glued down to the left-hand side. Okay. Got that goop there. All right. So now this is smaller, so you're going to split the difference here. It's about 1/4 inch. And now remember, because now I'm pressed on this, my gusset is showing from my 1/4 inch gusset on the other side. Make sure you don't glue it down to that. Glue it to your tunnel, your base page. Okay. All right, let's see. It is about, just in case you want a measurement, yeah, about 1/4 inch up and down. Okay. Page number 2 is going to attach. Okay, this one is scored. Yes, 8.5. On your 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5/8 inch. And you're just going to, again, glue down just your 1/2 inch hinge. This is going to get glued to the right side of the number 1 you just put on. And you could glue these together before you attach it, I guess, if you want. It doesn't matter. You could glue the 3 pieces together. But to me, this is just as easy. Making sure my edges are lined up. Not only this edge, but the bottom and top edge. Looking good. Okay. Now we're going to go back in and readjust for our gusset there. Okay. Looking good. Off here. There we go. All right. And our third piece, 9.5 high, 8.5 wide. Score on your side at 1/2 inch and 5/8 inch. And this one's going to get attached to the top of this one here, number 2 that we just put on. Again, just your, whoa. Just pulled the whole cap off. There we go. Cap. Pulled the whole cap off. There we go. Just down the 1/2 inch hinge here again. Glue all over there. Okay. All right. So again, we want to watch. We're going to attach it just to the one we just put down. So if you have to lift it to see it, make sure you do. Okay. So that looks good. And we're going to push it back a little bit to get our gusset back in there. Okay. So this is what you have with this one. You have a flip. 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 So you can do this way. Again. Or this way. So she have a nice spread there. Or she can do them one at a time if she likes. So, but if she opens it up, she can have a nice full spread there, nice large. See, I got this glued down very good there. Give that a good press. All right. So that is where we're going to stop today. And I want to thank you for joining in. Hope you follow along. Continue to follow along and give this a try. It seems like it's going to be a really nice album, and it doesn't have to be a wedding album, of course. And the theme can be whatever theme you like. So to my subscribers, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so at this time. Down the bottom right hand corner, there's a subscribe red button. If you hit that, you will be subscribed. When the bell pops up, if you choose to select, you can select to choose every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. So as always, stay safe, healthy, and hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.